Sounded like that music missed a little beat there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Alarm Fantasy Football. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Andrew Cooper. Shout out to our handsome producer, Brian Burns, for bringing us in with that awesome intro and the music. And thank you, everybody, here for joining us on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Please do us a favor. If you like the content, hit that like button. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Get all the updates that you need to figure out what shows we've got going on here between this show here, Alarm Fantasy Football, the Quick Outs podcast with Coop and John and Pemba, Brits Blitz, Coop's Fantasy Fiasco. We've got so much different stuff here. The Better Sports Betting Show. So many different great shows here. Gets you all the content that you need. And then if you like our here, well, get over to fantasyalarm.com as well. You can check out all the written content, season-long betting, DFS, you name it, we got it. Coop, my man, what is going on with you? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm fired up for start sit day. And I love that the veterans of the channel that are here every day that hang out, they know to, if you want to get your question answered first, you sneak in just before the show starts. We're in the comments and sneak it in there. So we see you, Gario. We see you, Gabe the Babe. We're definitely going to get all your questions today. And folks, so get them in the chat. First, we're going to hit on just a little bit of news probably, and then we're going to smash on start sits. No more yelling at people for getting start sits in on Tuesday, Howard. It's Thursday. People officially have permission to get them in, right?
I'm ready, dude. I'm definitely ready, man. I listen. You know what? We even did some start sits yesterday.
We did.
We ain't bad guys here.
That's
We
right.
just what we're trying to do. The reason that we say it, and I think you guys all know this. Like we get it. You're all hepped up about your matchup and Thursday night football, and you don't want to make any mistakes, and you want to, you're constantly looking at your lineups and stuff. The reason that we push it till now, at least for lineup advice, is because we know that we're waiting on a ton of news that's going to make it or break it for this slate. If you're a DFS player, you got to wait and see where the value opens up for you on this slate. If you're a season-long player, you got to know who's in, who's out in order to make those right decisions. So lineup advice here today. Happy to do it on a Thursday. But yeah, Coop, what's buzzing in the news these days?
Yeah, so you want to hit on some Thursday stuff or some general notes? What do you want to do first, Howard?
I want to do it all. Let's start with some Thursday stuff, some relevant stuff for tonight's game, and then we can go a little bit more broad.
Okay, cool. So tonight we do have some information. Most of the important questions have been answered for us. So we've got T. Higgins out on the Bengals side. Also on the Bengals side, Sam Hubbard out. Andre Yosivash is out. And Trey Hendrickson is in. So he got a full practice in last week. He's going to play. That is humongous for this team. One of the league leaders in sacks. So a big one there. But yeah, no T. Higgins. So Trent Irwin showdown, Howard, maybe sneak him in. What do you think?
Oh, I definitely think I'm sneaking Trent Irwin in on a showdown slate. I mean, listen, he's not going to rack up a ton of yards, but with I think it's Yeshiva or something like that. Is like
Yosivash. I spent like 10 minutes earlier being like, is that how you say it?
Is it Yosivash?
Yosivash. That's
Yosivash. All right. So with him out, yeah, Trent Irwin definitely going to, pull in a couple extra snaps, I think.
Yeah, let's go. On the Baltimore side, you got Ronnie Staley out. Linebacker Trenton Simpson is already ruled out. Marlon Humphrey doubtful for what I'm seeing is it's not looking good. So probably no Marlon Humphrey either. And then Devin Duvernay questionable, though he hasn't really been involved much outside of kick returns. So Ravens, they have been without Ronnie Staley for most of these games anyway. So not huge changes there, right?
No, not huge changes at all.
Yeah. Now, Burns, I'm not sure if you had a chance to grab it. There was one interesting thing floating around the interwebs. The Bengals, not sure if you saw this, Howard, tweeted out a video, and Burns is going to try and get that puppy pulled up for us. And then they deleted it. So they tweeted a video out, and, knowing the internet sleuths of the world sneaking around, right? Somebody noticed that in the back of the video, for a brief second, you can see that Joe Burrow has on his wrist like a little wrist guard. I can't really even tell what it is. That's why I want to get it pulled up and get your opinion on it when we have a chance here. But he's not on the injury report or anything like that. I know he did kind of whack a hand on a helmet. Burns, if you have that one ready, pull that up. I want to get your thoughts on this because
we're looking at that. I mean, I've had a wrist guard on before. It's just kind of it stabilized it and it keeps everything all hunky dory. Are we worried about this?
So that's the thing. I see Natasha in the chat saying Joe's wrist. What's going on here? I mean, and again, it's just if they just left it up and didn't take it down, then it wouldn't be as like people go crazy when that happens. Like like they're trying to hide something. But I don't know. It's at least something, right? Someone has to address it, I imagine, because no injury report. Why is this guy wearing why is he wearing a wrist? Maybe he went bowling last night and a little sore today, right?
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
That's right, dude. So what do you think? This is big nothing, Howard, or should we even consider it?
I'm not going to overthink it. Yeah. I'm really not. I'm going to enjoy the fact that Marlon Humphrey is out and Jamar Chase is going to be going bing, 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 bing all around that secondary. That's really where I'm eyeballing it. And, I think more than just spotting Joe Burrow with like some sort of a wrist guard on while he's like in street clothes and stuff, I think that, maybe people are trying to read a little bit too much into it.
Yeah, I'd say so. So yeah, I mean, that's about it for tonight. We'll get into a little bit more of that matchup as we go on here. Other news and notes, and this one's kind of two-sided, Howard. So I kind of want to get your opinion from both sides because, of course, it involves your team. So running back Michael Carter was released by the Jets. And Robert Saleh actually came out and addressed it and said, hey, you know what? We like Michael Carter. He's, a fine guy. I know there was a video of him getting upset on the sideline, but he said that the roster move was made because they like Izzy Abanikanda and they want to see him get more opportunity. So on one side, you got a coach saying, hey, you know what? Specific reason was because we like this kid. On the other side of it, the Cardinals claimed him. So, with James Conner, that going on. So I wanted to get your thoughts on both sides of that. Feelings on Izzy and if there's any effect on James Conner or Michael Carter can carve out a role. What do you think?
Well, listen, I'm fine giving Izzy more opportunities over in the Jets. I think that you drafted the guy, right? We know what Michael Carter is. We know the type of running back he is. We knew what he was like in college when he was sharing the role with Javonte Williams, right? And then he gets drafted by the Jets. He doesn't really amount to a whole lot. I mean, he's a pass catching running back. Maybe gets that third down work or some of it. But there was nothing really special, like really like breakout, for Michael Carter. So I love the fact from the Jets point of view, giving Abanikanda, more work, more opportunities. Let's see what we've got here because next year in the draft, are we going to go deeper into this draft and grab another running back? Or do we feel like the tandem of Breece Hall and Izzy Abanikanda is going to help us? As far as the Cardinals picking him up, I mean, is he better than Amari DiMercato? Probably. DiMercato is also banged up. Keontae Ingram is not a pass catcher. He's not a good pass blocker either. He's like a good, like between the tackles, kind of a short yardage guy. So if you want to increase that, if you want to add that element to the offense and Amari DiMercato just isn't cutting it, you might as well give Michael Carter a shot. I have zero interest in him in fantasy. Zero interest in him in fantasy. That this is James Conner's backfield and it'll stay Conner's backfield.
Right, exactly. I mean, like the absolute ceiling, in my opinion, is like Jerick McKinnon, right? Where it's like Justice Hill, where every once in a while you say, hey, you know what, this guy's tired, so why don't you go out there for a pass play or two? But I'm with you. It's like there's no way he just carves out that entire role. I mean, he couldn't do it while Breece Hall was recovering from an ACL. So, yeah, not worried about him there. This was an interesting one. Excuse me, Jahmyr Gibbs on Amon-Ra St. Brown and Equity St. Brown have a podcast together where they just kind of hang out and talk, the St. Brown Bros podcast. And they had Jahmyr Gibbs on.
Like the poor man's Kelsey podcast.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, we're two brothers who play football together. We could do that too.
I'm excited to hear their Christmas song when that comes out, right? But yeah, so Jahmyr Gibbs came out and said something that very rarely do we get this insight. And I went back and watched it, and sure enough, on the field you could see it. Amon-Ra St. Brown asked him, he goes, why did you get the touchdown from the 1 yard line? Those are usually David Montgomery's. And Jahmyr Gibbs said David came out in the field. They sent him out, and he asked me, he goes, do you want this one, Ja? And I said, yeah. And then Monty subbed himself out. So apparently Monty's got carte blanche to give away touchdowns if he wants. I don't know, man. I mean, what are your thoughts on that situation?
I don't really like that.
I don't either.
I don't really like that at all, Monty. Like, you're being a team player there, and you want to be best buds with Jahmyr Gibbs, but shit, dude. Some of us are relying on those 1-yard touchdowns from you. Some of us have you in our lineups. You're not going to break a 75-yard touchdown run every single week and make you nuts. So you're going to have to take these, goal line carries here. So I'm not happy about that, and I'm going to now boycott that podcast.
Good. Me too. Yeah. I was thinking about maybe listening to it, and then
now I'm done.
I will not boycott if they come out with a Christmas song, I will listen to that. But I'll boycott the podcast, but not any Christmas songs. I'm on board with all that stuff. And I will say this, like, what happens if he does that and then Gibbs fumbles or he gets stuffed for like a 3-yard loss? The running back coach, kill you over stuff like that. So I don't know. Plus, I'm a fantasy analyst. I want things as predictable as possible. So
please, crying out loud.
Exactly. Speaking of being as predictable as possible, the Bears came out and said they have no plans to commit to anyone as the RB1 in that backfield. So the speculation rolls on, Howard.
I mean, it's exactly what you said 2 days ago when you equated it to the backfield in Baltimore. You got Deonta Foreman as Gus Edwards. You've got Keaton Mitchell and what's his face? Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert is Keaton Mitchell, and Roshan Johnson is Justice Hill. It's that it lines up absolutely perfectly there. And I have Deonta Foreman in a couple of leagues. He's just sitting on my bench right now. I'm not gonna jump in on that. He's definitely earned himself a share of the workload. It's just not something that I really want to dive into.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. So hey, if you can avoid it, then do it. If you have to start somebody, then keep an eye on Deonta Foreman. Again, we don't have enough info right now on that. The Justin Jefferson, Devon A-Chain, we still don't have information on on whether they're coming off IR or not. But I'll tell you what, I've been looking into it, and the two responses from the teams are kind of very, very different. Justin Jefferson said that he's going to be the one that makes the call on whether he's good to go or not. And on the other side, Mike McDaniel said that he makes the call. And he basically said that I listen to everything, but I trust my eyes. And he said that, if it were up to this guy, he would play, but we're going to be the ones that say whether he plays or not. So not much. I mean, there's really not much to say on that. If you got them, if they're playing, you just start them no matter what, right, Howard?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you're looking in DFS purposes there, Mostert is only like $200-$300 more than Achane. So, against the Raiders, they should both be able to eat. We know that for a fact. So, you kind of figure it out there and just take it as it comes. But yeah, if you're waiting to see if you've got Achane and you want to activate him off of IR, because I've got him in a couple of leagues and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to wait until the last possible moment to take him off of my IR so I don't have to drop somebody that anybody can pick up and use moving forward. But I think that's just one of those situations where you have to wait. Jefferson being the one who calls the shots, I don't know how I feel about that. I hate when players diagnose themselves or make those decisions. And frankly, I think the coach comes off like a cuck if the player's the one who's making that call. It should be the coach. It should be Kevin O'Connell talking it over with the medical team, then talking it over with Justin Jefferson. Okay, now I can make an informed decision. So I definitely don't like that at all. And this is a big game here too, because Justin Jefferson coming back this week, that if he comes back this week, Patrick Surtain is going to be climbing all over him the entire game.
Yep. I mean, that's how you get the Grandpa Simpson hat meme, where it's like the revolving door right in and out with Pat Fryermuth and Greg Dulcich. Like, let's let the trainers decide when you're ready to go. Two more quick ones, and then maybe we can hit on some chat stuff. One thing I want to ask you about Brandon Staley. So our own John and Pemba, make sure you're following him on Twitter at JandPemba777, tweeted out and sent us a video of the Chargers defensive line just getting absolutely blown off the ball on the very first play of the game in embarrassing fashion. And Chargers head coach Brandon Staley came out and reiterated that he will remain the defensive play caller for that team. Do you think that he is kind of digging his own grave to some degree with kind of tying himself to that defense right now?
I think he is actually, because I mean the defense is not strong by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, aside from Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa as the pass rush, you've got Derwin James who's out there, moments away from being suspended for a couple of games for the illegal hits that he does. That's what your defense is. Yeah, watching that video of the Detroit Lions offensive line shoving the Chargers defensive line like a good 3 or 4 yards back, right? So that all of a sudden it was like, all of a sudden the running back was in the backfield holding the football, and as the offensive line moved forward, the yard of the line to gain the first down was like in the backfield at that point. So it was boop, and I'm in.
Easy, right? Yeah, just insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, they got to figure something out over there.
I mean, Staley's on the hot seat. There's some guys that just don't understand. Like, as the head coach, you need to supervise both the offense and the defense. You let your coordinators handle it, you supervise it. And then if there's something that you see that you don't like, then you intervene. You talk to your coordinator about it and get your coordinator to make that change. Staley sitting there calling the plays when, he's like sitting there and he's supposed to be thinking about what the hell his offense is supposed to be doing when they get back on the field the next time. That's problematic here for the Chargers.
Seriously, though. And he's had a problem with that on offense with the decision making, where it's like if he's thinking about the defense this whole time, then turns around and says, yeah, just go for it. Like, that's been one of his biggest problems. So, yeah, I think could be time for a new coach over there. Last one I wanted to get your thoughts on. David Tepper, Panthers owner, came out. And for some reason, I'm trying to figure out why. I've got an inkling of maybe why. He came out and told everybody that the Panthers actually had a 3-way trade in place on draft day. So as a quick refresher, everybody, the Panthers traded away DJ Moore and a bunch of stuff to get the first overall pick, right? Reportedly, the trade was supposed to be Texans move up to 1, and then the Panthers get the second pick from the Bears, in which case I'm not sure if he's implying that the Texans were going to take Bryce Young at 1 or what even was the point of telling everybody that? I mean, what is he thinking with that? Why would he even say that?
I have no idea why he would say it or anything like that until the Texans changed their mind at the last second. Maybe somebody in the Texans organization got wind that Carolina really coveted Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. And the Texans were like, oh, well, we can pay him less as the number 2 overall pick or the number 3 overall pick. They took him at 3rd. Right? So all of a sudden they get a 2-pick discount on CJ Stroud, and the Panthers are the ones sitting there with Bryce Young.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes the Texans look like geniuses because they took that package of picks that they probably were going to trade to move up and traded it to get the second pick and took Will Anderson, who's, creating a lot of pressure. So I don't know what he's doing, dude, but, owners that meddle like that, I just don't feel like it ever works out well. You know what I mean? It never does. And you hear like Bob Kraft, I've maybe heard like 1 or 2 times where he even cared about personnel decisions at all, which is a good thing. So I don't know, but yeah, that's about it for news, unless you got something good coming up here.
No, well, I mean, listen, before we start hitting those chat questions and we'll fire through all of those, want to just shout out Underdog Fantasy, our good friends over there. You can hit this QR code right here that Brian Burns is putting up, or you can go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, use the promo code ALARM, and they'll give you an instant deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. We play the pick'em contest. We do the drafts over here on Alarm Fantasy Football all the time. So get yourselves in on that. Hit this QR code or go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog and use that promo code ALARM for the instant deposit match. We'll throw you some pick'em picks. We've done it now. We did it on Tuesday. We did it yesterday on today's show. So now you've got you're going to have 6 picks to choose from that you can pair up with their featured player, which is Joe Burrow, half a total yard. You go higher on that one there. So let's give them some picks to mix in there. What do you got, Coop?
I got it. You know what day it is, Howard? Thursday,
Tackle Monster Day.
It's Tackle Monster Day. We've been crushing these Tackle Monsters one. There's only 2 games so far. It's week 11 now. Only 2 times we haven't hit. So we've hit on 8 of the other ones. Last week, TJ Edwards was 9.5. He had 12. So we did it again. This week is the easiest one maybe yet. Roquan Smith, baby. Set at 9.5 combined tackles. So not solo, not assists, combined. So solo plus assist. On the year so far, through 10 games, this guy has 108. He actually averages more than that number. Last week, he had 21 combined tackles. 21. And in one of the games where he only had 5, it was a Seahawks game where they won 37-3. So basically the other team wasn't running. They were just throwing the entire game. So, hey, not that much for him to eat. In this game, I expect the Bengals to come out. They don't have T. Higgins. They're going to have to go over the middle to, guys like Tanner Hudson. They're going to have to run it with Joe Mixon. I think it's a no-brainer that this guy is going to be as involved as he's been all year. He has like 6 games now with double-digit tackles, a couple with as many as 12, 16, 21. So, yeah, 9.5 tackles. Let me get the higher on that for our boy Roquan Smith, tackle monster, baby, number 0 all day.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna eat the chalk here. Jamar Chase, 79.5 receiving yards. I'm going higher. I'm not scared of Joe Burrow's wrist guard that he was wearing. What I'm loving here is that Marlon Humphrey is doubtful for this game and very unlikely to play. And that's going to put just Chase into an absolute fantastic spot here, running around that secondary. Marlon Humphrey is Baltimore's best cover corner. And to not have him there, maybe they try to double team Jamar Chase and then they put, somebody over on Tyler Boyd. I don't even know how they're going to do that. Jamar Chase, you tell me he can't hit 80 receiving yards? Yeah, I think he can. Higher for me, Coop.
Yeah, buddy. So I've been paying attention all week, and earlier you gave us your chalk of all chalk, which was the Mark Andrews one against this defense, which is 31st. In my opinion, they are the worst defense versus a tight end. So if you go with the free Joe Burrow, you go with the Jamar Chase, 79.5, 80. You go with Mark Andrews, you go with Roquan Smith. That pays out 10x what you put in. 10x, dude. So it's a free $10, free $100 in my opinion, because I think we're going to knock this one out of the park, baby.
I agree. All right, let's hit to the chat here for everybody. Love the fact you guys are nice and patient, staying with us here. Let's get to it here. Gabe the Babe in the house immediately. 29 seconds into this live stream, Gabe the Babe says, "Sup, fellas? Give up Kenneth Walker and the Mandrews for Bijan, Dalton Kincaid, and Noah Brown. Mainly interested in Bijan rest of season over Walker, and I already have Kelsey." So he's already got Kelsey. So then if you already have Kelsey, then why do you even need Kincaid back in this deal?
Yeah. That's the weird part. I do like the idea. I love the idea, in fact.
I love the idea.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Try and get somebody different than Kincaid. I think maybe what he's thinking is, Kelsey's already had his bye. Yeah, no, you're good, man. I would try and, instead of Kincaid and Noah Brown, I would just try and get one player that's going to be in your lineup every week. So yeah. I like the idea, but yeah, switch that one up. And I wanted to mention, Howard, it might not show up on your side. Gary O snuck in even before it started here. So I got one. I got one from Gary O.
What's Olszewski want there? What do you want, Gary?
Let's go, Gary.
I just answered emails to Gary earlier this morning. We helped him negotiate a trade. What's up? He's
a big baller. Got a lot of questions, man. So start 3: Puka Nacua, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, Zay Flowers, Rashid Rice, and then Achan. So he's got 3 of those half PPR outside the playoffs by 1 game right now.
I already answered this for him, so I will leave it to you, and then I will tell you what I told him.
Okay, so I'm guessing you said start Devon Achan if he plays.
Correct.
Okay, so that's 1, and then I'll give you 3 others just in case he doesn't play. But I'm going to start Tyler Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start Brandon Cooks the way he's playing right now. Where were you at on that?
He was not my next choice there, but go ahead, keep going.
Okay.
I like what Cooks is doing. If Achan doesn't play, then Cooks is my pivot immediately.
And I like Rashee Rice. Personally, I like Rashee Rice. He's been scoring a lot of touchdowns. I think this game's going to be a shootout, so that's where I was going.
On that one there, buddy.
Let's go, dude. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I went. Rice, Lockett, and Achan. And yes, if Achan doesn't play, Brandon Cooks is the one to do.
Yeah, he's been
Did
playing.
I miss anybody else's question?
No, that was it. Sometimes they sneak. He snuck in under the wire. I think before we were in here. Yeah.
Hey man, I love it, man. If you subscribe to the Fantasy Alarm and like you get that notification that we're going to be going live, jump in and get those questions in early. I love it. I love it. All right, Victor Omilas is out there. He says, I got a couple of trade offers, so apologizing now for the constant questions on them.
Get him in.
Oh, all right. He's setting us up here. Skinny McKinney, what's up, dude? Scott Fishbowl, Gus the Bus, or Rico Dowdle?
I'm going Gus, man. I mean, he's the de facto starter and the goal line back. And I don't know, Howard. I just can't buy the Rico Dowdle stuff, man. I just don't know if I buy it.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, right? They realize that Tony Pollard can't handle the full workload himself. They need that thunder and lightning, right? You need, they lost Zeke. And now what they've realized through the first, 10 weeks of the season, they're like, yeah, Pollard's good and all, but, he doesn't really pop when he's doing like all the other work that like Zeke handled when he was there. And so I think they're bringing Dowdle, they're increasing his snaps, they're increasing his touches. They've had a lot of soft games, which is why you've seen Dowdle more than anything else. But yeah, Gus Edwards against this Bengals horrible run defense. Like that's the play for me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I guess gotta change my stance on Dowdle. I don't know. I just figured they would just keep running Tony Pollard up against the brick wall forever. But maybe they
wish they did. For those of us who don't have Tony Pollard on our rosters,
it would be the most Tony Pollard thing ever, Howard. Would it be the most Tony Pollard thing ever for Rico Dowdle to take over all like the garbage Zeke work, and then all of a sudden he's good again, right? Just like he needed to get out of the trash compactor a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like all of a sudden it's like Tony Pollard, 65-yard touchdown reception. Tony Pollard, 32-yard touchdown run on the outside. Like, yes, it would be nice.
And Rico Dowdle comes out to meet him in the end zone. He's just covered in bruises. He's got like a black eye. He's like, yeah, we did it, dude.
We got him. All right. Rex, the Coltastrophe says, who's getting sat? Rashad White, Jameson, is that Jameson Williams or is that Jamalful Williams? Like
I think it's actually Javonte.
Oh, is it Javonte?
Yeah, with the Williamses, we need more initials. Same with the Robinsons. We get a lot of B Robinson, and I don't know if it's Brian or if it's Bijan.
Bijan, yeah. So all
right, more initials on those.
Rex, you got to give us something here, because I mean, listen, I'll tell you what. If that's Jamal Williams, he's on a bye. If it's Jameson Williams, I'm sitting him.
Of course.
And that's the easy one there. If it's Javonte Williams,
then you got a real question. I think that is the question. Because
that is the question. Who are you sitting out of that group then? Pacheco against the Eagles?
I might start. It's either Pacheco against the Eagles or it's Rashad White against the 49ers. I'm starting Javonte Williams. He's been playing great. He gets the Vikings, and I'll start Swift against the Chiefs. So it's either I might bench Rashad White against the 49ers.
Okay. I kind of like, I mean, listen, I know the 49ers have a strong run defense and a great pass rush. And you've got Chase Young and you've got
Javon Hargrave and all those guys. Yeah.
They overcommit. There's a little dump pass there to Rashad White, kind of neutralizes that a little bit.
That's true. It's just anytime I see an 11.5 point spread, I'm just like,
oh yeah, well,
I don't know. But yeah, that's probably. I mean, yeah, bench Pacheco. Bench Pacheco against the Eagles.
I'm leaning Pacheco.
The 49ers quietly haven't been like an amazing run defense because of what you talk about. Like you can rip off chunks on them.
Victor O'Meala says 1 point PPR was offered Kittle and Tajay Spears for my Pickens and Ramondre Stevenson.
Who's your tight end? Who's your tight end right now? Because I don't like trading for Kittle. I'd rather trade Kittle, but I mean, if your tight end if you're just starting like Kate Otten and guys like that, then do it. But I got to know who your other tight end is because you might not even be starting Kittle depending on who your other tight end is. I'm worried about Kittle. I'm really worried about him.
Yeah, I don't love the deal. I don't love the deal.
No.
But I mean, again, like if you don't have anybody at tight end, then it's a different story.
And sometimes you got it. Yeah.
But if you're sitting there with like Evan Engram,
then you're not going to start Kittle.
Anthony M says, my Flowers, Lockett, DJ Moore, start sit is never ending. So Flowers, Lockett, or DJ Moore, if those are the options, who you like?
I think I'm going to start. It was easier when Fields wasn't playing, wasn't it? I'm not going to start Flowers. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to start Flowers. He's just been too inconsistent, and he's such a low A-dot guy. It's either Lockett or DJ Moore, and Lockett's got the Rams. I think I would start Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I like Lockett against the Rams as well. Michelle's in the house here. What's up, Michelle? Start Laporta instead of Hawkinson if Jefferson plays. Well, girl, you got to work out a trade right now. That's what you got to do. You got to shop around both Laporta and Hawkinson, and whoever brings you the best return for your team, that's the guy you trade.
Yeah. I'm starting Hawkinson no matter what, dude, to be honest. Yeah. Like, after last week, what a soldier. And I'll tell you, the Bears, like, on paper, they've been pretty bad against the tight end, but they've been missing Eddie Jackson for a good chunk of those games. He's back. So, I mean, they're both going to be top 5 guys ranking-wise, so you're splitting hairs. But I'm starting Hawkinson.
Fields or Kyler?
I'm starting Kyler Murray. I don't know what I got to see the thumb. Kyler Murray looked just like Kyler Murray last week. The most Kyler Murray play ever at the end of the game, right? The turnaround and where he scrambled all the way down to get them in field goal range. Like, that is quintessential Kyler Murray. Looks exactly like what I like in fantasy football. So I'm starting Kyler.
Stroud or Herbert? I kind of like Stroud at home in this matchup here against Arizona. I mean, I get that they'll probably run hard with Singletary, but I also think that they want to just chuck the ball all over the place, especially with Nico Collins back.
Yeah. Britt, I see Britt Flynn in the chat, one of our most connected fantasy alarm analysts. Britt, if you have any information on Jair Alexander, I know it's maybe a little early for Packers practice news, but let us know. I know he did not practice yesterday, but I think I'm with you. I'm starting Stroud. And I think John and Pemba also said that he had Stroud over Herbert.
See, I like the QB whisperer over there. Stroud or Burrow?
Ooh, I mean, it's crazy that is the highest over-under game of the week. Cardinals and Texans, right, dude? That's a classic Cardinals-Texans shootout that we all know. We've all come to know and love.
We've all come to know and love decades of Texans versus Cardinals.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, when these guys match up, it's going to be a desert brawl. But no, I think I would go that way. It has nothing to do with the wrist guard or any of that business. But yeah, no, I think I like it.
Mile High Luke says, happy Thursday, fellas. Happy Thursday to you, Mile High Luke.
What's up, dude?
GT Sports says, what's up? Have a couple of trade options. Which running back deal you guys prefer? My Garrett Wilson for Achane or my Amari Cooper for Tony Pollard?
Oh, yeah. I like both of them, obviously.
Yeah. Me too. I think you're I think you're getting the better back in Achane and giving up Garrett Wilson. I just went on a fucking tirade about how much I hate the Jets right now. The fact that Nathaniel Hackett is still the offensive coordinator, that Aaron Rodgers is holding us hostage, because if you fire Nathaniel Hackett, Rodgers is going to be like, fuck it, I ain't coming back. I'm not going to be back in December. Screw you. Fill your seats, fill your stadium around holiday time without me. Like, I genuinely believe that. So I'm actually fine. As long as this isn't a keeper league, I'm fine sending Garrett Wilson for Achane.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I got a little Achane stat for you guys. Right now,
say it with me. Achane.
Is it Achane? Andy's saying good job in the pronunciation, Coop. I thought they switched it to Achane. Where's Dustin? Dustin, let us know.
Anthony says he's saying that sarcastically, Coop.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Achane.
I think he's the greatest guy in the whole wide world.
I think
Dustin told us it was Achane.
Did he, or did he say Achane?
No, he definitely did not say Achane.
Okay, well, either way,
I'll bet you $100 right now.
Either way, no.
I don't think you should be doing too much gambling tonight.
Okay, either way, on that particular player, whose name will not be named until I hear from Dustin in the chat, even though it's a 4-game sample size, has the highest PPR points per game of any player of all time. Second on the list is Patrick Mahomes. Third on the list is a guy named James Brim, who played 3 games during the 1987 lockout, and fourth is Christian McCaffrey. So as of right now, even though it's a small sample size, that running back for the Dolphins, Achane, the number 1 scoring PPR player of all time.
I'm in on him, 100%.
Get him in, and shout out James Brim.
Achane. Mile High Luke says, I've got my attitude under control today after yesterday's Watson news and the effects it had. Oh, all right. As long as you got it under control, because Luke, I was just going to offer you like a little gummy here, and that'll take the edge right off for you, buddy.
You want to get high?
I got you covered. Birdie says, rare kicker question for you. I've got the real D-Hop, but part of me wants to pivot to a dome guy like Prater. Oh, Dustin Hopkins he's got. That's not the real one.
That's the real one.
QB situations are opposite here. Dustin Hopkins in a game that has a 33 over-under, or Prater in a dome in a potential high-scoring shootout game.
I have Prater ahead in my rankings.
I would do that too. Natasia says Tanner Hudson, real deal.
No, I mean, with guys like Tanner Hudson and Tyler Conklin, you have to look at the script of the games and what's actually going on. So Tanner Hudson ran 20 routes, which we say, hey, 20 routes, that's okay. But they dropped back to throw 51 times. So it's actually not okay. It's actually less than half the game. So he's basically Tanner Hudson. I put him in the same category as like Kylan Granson. Kylan Granson plays more than he does. So it's really hard to trust these guys that just aren't even playing half the game. If he were to go out this week and run like 60 or 70% of the routes, then we'd be on him. But I'm not going to start him against the Ravens. The Ravens are one of the best teams versus the tight end that there is. Like Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. It's just not a great spot for Tanner Hudson.
Agreed. The better cast in the house here. That must be Tommy. What's going on, Tommy? Should we fade Burrow? No. I'm not fading Burrow. Natasha, maybe
Natasha.
Maybe it's just pronounced Natasha, just spelled differently. Says it looks like something you wear when you have CT for Joe's wrist.
Oh, for Joe Burrow, yeah, maybe.
I'm not fading him. Are you fading him?
No.
Mark Andrews, the Better Cast, is already throwing out some props here. Guys, for tonight's Thursday night football action, it's not just the Better Cast, it's another Bender Cast. That's right. I'm going to be in there starting at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight while you guys are answering all your pregame questions and getting everything set and squared away. I'll be in there chiming in. I'll be throwing out some fun button smashes so that you guys can get your list and stuff. Do we have a QR code here for our friend Brian Burns? Bettercast app. It's a free download. BETTORCAST. There's that QR code. Zap that QR code right there. It's a free download. It's available in your Google Play Store, wherever you get your apps for your iPhone. It's all right there. It is 100% free. We sit there, we chill out in the chat, we talk throughout the game. I pop in usually during commercial breaks to share some thoughts. If you were there last Monday for the Better Cast during the Jets Chargers debacle, I was, it was like Howard night 1 and then Howard like night 20. It was a disaster. So we're going to do that again here tonight on Thursday Night Football for Ravens against the Bengals. Answer your pregame questions. And then throughout the entire show, you'll end up getting other prop questions thrown at you. Answer them right, you get points. You take those points, you win, you get tickets. You take those tickets, you redeem them for autographed sports memorabilia and a bunch of other fun prizes that we've got over there at the Bettercast app. And we're going to be doing this every Thursday night. So start it up tonight. And then I'll chime in. I'll jump in there and I'll be like, yo, smash that fun button right now. And we're going to choose a random winner for 1,000 tickets. So we're just giving shit away here, everybody. So again, it's the Bender Cast.
I love it.
Me too. Mark Andrews over under 54.5 receiving yards. Coop, what do you think?
I literally already have money on it. So we're going higher. We're going over on that one.
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are. Yes, we are. All right. Big Tully says, would you trade Eckler to get AJ Brown? I
Ooh,
have ETN, Kyron Williams, and Pacheco.
Twitch gang in the house. Where you been, Twitch gang?
Shit.
YouTube blowing you out of the
My
water. Get the
bad,
Twitch glasses out for Big Thule and the gang.
My bad.
Actually, he was in here 10 minutes into the show. We're just behind on the chat, Howard. Would you trade Eckler to get AJ Brown? The answer is yes. And that's the analysis.
And that's it.
Get AJ Brown by any means necessary.
You don't even need to do the analysis there. See, you just took it one step too far, Coop.
I know. Sorry.
Nino Pena wants to know Ridley or Singletary at the flex for this week.
I'm feeling Ridley again, as long as Dameon Pierce is out. If Dameon Pierce plays, then it's easily and obviously Ridley. But Singletary, this is a good matchup for him once again. Cardinals.
Wait, that just sounded very confusing. You said Ridley, and then you started talking about Pierce being out.
Wait, no, Singletary, didn't I? It's Singletary for me, unless Pierce plays. If Pierce plays, then we start Ridley. But there Singletary last week carved up the Bengals. I don't see why he can't do the same versus Cardinals.
I agree. All right, Chris UFC, here we go. How's it going, guys? Being offered Saquon and Johnson for Devontae Adams. Which Johnson? My Johnson? Coop's Johnson?
Nah, mine's worth way too much.
All right. I'm getting offered Saquon and Dick for Devontae Adams.
Girl says it's a good size. It's a nice way of saying that it's small.
Why do you have all these available?
His other wide receivers are Thielen, McLaurin, Flowers, Rice. He's got Taylor on a bye this week, so it would mean that starting Miles Sanders as his RB2. So does he blow up his team and give up Devontae Adams to get Saquon to run against the Washington Commanders this week?
I mean, if you're unless your team has like 8 or 9 wins, then you can't be starting Miles Sanders. So I think I would do the trade. And I like Deontay Johnson, so I would do the trade and start Saquon. Miles Sanders, I'm a fan, but he hasn't been doing anything.
He hasn't done shit. Chaka's in the house. What's up, Chaka?
Chaka, what's up, dude?
Trying to get Diggs. Would you trade Kamara and Thielen for him? Running backs are Kamara, Brees, Achane, Kyron, Javonte.
Absolutely. With those running backs, I'd do that right away. Yep.
Do it. Do you want Ayuk or Thielen rest of season?
I think I'm sticking. Man, that is actually difficult. I think I would actually rather have Ayuk. I always worry with these older guys on teams that are losing. I mean, look at what the Jets are doing. The Jets said, hey, we want to get this young guy in, so we're going to actually cut you. It's like, do they really need to, when they have 2 wins, are they just going to keep peppering Adam Thielen, or are they going to start saying, hey, let's see if Terrace Marshall is going to make this team. Let's see what we have with Jonathan Mingo. Like, I think Ayuk is in a better spot.
Yeah, I agree. Also needed a big upgrade at running back for the playoffs. Do you think I overpaid, traded Diggs and Connor for Gibbs and Pittman?
No, I think that's about fair. Yeah. It's even down the middle. It's just
yeah, I think that's a lateral move at best.
Lateral, yeah.
Yeah.
If you like Gibbs, you like Gibbs.
Exactly. Scooby Taylor in the house. Rest of season, would you rather have in a PPR redraft Kittle or Kincaid?
Kincaid for me. I don't think he's going back in the bottle.
I don't think he is either.
And Kittle has yet. I know he caught 3 touchdowns on 3 receptions, and last week he had that blown play where no one was covering him and he scored. But he's yet to catch more than 3 passes in a game when everyone's healthy. Everyone's healthy, so that does scare me on Kittle.
Victor O'Mealis is telling us that Chase is now already at 80.5 receiving yards on Underdog right now.
They're monitoring our accounts once again. Watch out
all the time.
Well, I'm telling you, the moment we mention a player, dude, they know the tackle monster. You got to get that tackle monster in there before they come for him too, dude. The moment we're on these guys,
dude, I posted.
No joke, Roquan Smith. I just refreshed it. It's at 10 now.
See, I published an article. I had Jermaine Pratt at 7.5. That was his prop. I did the betting article this morning over there, and I did Jermaine Pratt 7.5, and all of a sudden I look over at Underdog and tackles and assists not available for Jermaine Pratt.
Wow.
Or it was at 8 or something like that. So
wow, we're gonna have to keep these top secret. I'm not putting them in. I'm not putting money on them until we do the show. We're gonna keep them top secret so that everyone can run in and get them. But Underdog, we know what you're doing. We know what you're up to.
See you.
They're laughing on the other side. They're like, yeah, we see you too. So, all right, the battle's on then. Unbelievable.
Let's do it.
I'm still going at 10. I'm still going over at higher at 10 on Roquan for the record.
And I'm going higher at 80 and a half for Chase too.
Right.
Yeah. Keaton Mitchell or Khalil Herbert, half point PPR.
Keaton Mitchell. Unless Foreman's out. If Foreman's out, then yeah, Khalil Herbert. But if
Foreman, well, you got to make that decision tonight.
Oh, just start Keaton Mitchell then.
Keaton Mitchell. 2 flex, trading Laporta, Jacoby, and Kirk for Eckler and McBride.
I like it. Just, you gotta, if you have McBride, you have to stay ahead of the bye weeks here because a ton of good tight ends have bye weeks coming up. So you're going to need somebody to start for week 14 for Trey McBride. In week 13, Andrews, Kincaid, and Hockenson all go on bye, and all the kind of weirdo tight ends are all going to get scooped up off the wire. So after you do that trade, make sure you have another tight end available on the team.
I like it. Natasha's having trouble choosing between Joe Burrow and CJ Stroud. That's why we told you CJ Stroud.
Yep.
So that you weren't having trouble with it anymore.
There you go.
Revisiting the Gus Bus question here from Skinny, with Harbaugh saying Mitchell will have an increased workload. How do you interpret that? I interpret that he's going to see more carries, but the Gus Bus still hangs out there on the goal line.
Yeah, unless they send Gus out there and he pulls a David Montgomery and says, "No, you can just have the touchdowns."
Oh God,
right? But no, it's Gus, man. Which we like Keaton Mitchell. I think that the real victim here is going to be Justice Hill.
The real victim is going to be Justice Hill. Yep. Hello, Roshan Johnson from Baltimore.
Smell you later.
Here you go. Put your Twitch glasses on here. Augusto07103 says Singletary and Laporta for Schultz and Stevenson.
Yes. Even as well. No, actually, Schultz has. If Stevenson's going to be in your lineup every single week, I do it. Just know that Schultz has a terrible, terrible playoff schedule, so you might actually need to be mixing and matching tight ends if Schultz is your guy. But Singletary, I think, he's got the same terrible schedule as Schultz, and Dameon Pierce will be back. So if you really badly need Stevenson, I would do it.
Yeah. Victor O'Meara says that Evan Ingram is his tight end. See, we hit that nail right on the head.
Howard, you're from the future. I wouldn't do that Kittle trade then.
Start Lamar or Stroud this week? Henry Vincent wants to know.
That is.
This is one of those weeks where I am beside myself. Like, I have this same exact dilemma. I love playing Stroud here. Is this the game? Is this the game that Lamar Jackson goes off like he did against Detroit? Like, how much all right. So here's the questions, Coop. Cincinnati's defense, more zone or man? And then the question is how much do they blitz? I'll look up the zone versus the well, you got it right there. You're always good with that.
Yeah, I got it, dude. I will tell you though, I have Lamar. I'm starting Lamar. I think like that's because we like Mark Andrews and the defense kind of fits perfectly into what they like to do. Yeah. I'll pull the blitzes. I'll put the zone up right now. But yeah, I mean, it just plays into what they want to do. That whole group of guys, I like them all. Like there's so many of those guys in that range that I actually moved Joe Burrow down to like 10 because I like Stroud and Lamar and Herbert and Kyler Murray and even though we like Burrow, it's just like I like the upside of these other guys.
So Cincinnati does use a mix of man and zone coverage. So the question is how much man coverage do they use?
Yeah.
Because if they use more, if it's a 50-50 split, I might be against that. I got to look up blitzing too.
50-50. I mean, like 50-50 would be close to leading the league in man coverage. Everyone just talk amongst yourselves for a second.
I'll go with another question here. Gary O in the house. With Aaron Jones and Jacobs and Spears and Achane at running back, St. Brown, Lockett, Puka, Flowers, Rice, Cooks, blah, 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 where would you grade or stay If up, who and for what? Oh, all right. So where are you upgrading here? That's what you want to know. I gotta be honest with you, man. With Jones, Jacobs, and Achan, I love that. St. Brown and Lockett. If you have to choose a third person there, Rice and Cooks, those guys are both decent, wide receiver threes. I don't really think the problem is here, Gary, is that I don't really think you have anything to really trade in order to move up unless you were to package Jones, Jacobs, or Achan with some of these with like Puka or Flowers or something like that. But I don't know, man. I don't love that too much. I wouldn't want to give up the extra asset. I mean, if you're going to give up the extra asset, give up the extra wide receivers. Maybe see if you can do like Puka and Flowers and Cooks for like a high-end wide receiver. See if anybody in your league does, is lacking the depth that they need. And if that's the case, then you can make that move. But I wouldn't want to dish off any of your running backs, at this point right now.
Yeah. So I got the information here. They actually are pretty close to 50%, like around like 55, 56, 57% on zone to man. So they do play a lot of man, and they're towards the bottom of the league in blitz rate. So where is that good?
At the bottom in blitz rate, you said?
Towards the bottom, yeah.
But 50-50 with man and zone. I don't know, man. I feel like Stroud wants to sling the rock in this one here. And even though that you run heavily on him, if Pierce is out, I don't know, man. I don't know. Lamar just scares the shit out of me.
Right.
He really does.
It's kind of like, honestly, it's like Taysom Hill, where it just feels like it's out of his hands to some degree. And this Gus Edwards touchdown business is what's really causing the problem, because those used to all be Lamar touchdowns. Same with Josh Allen. They're not doing it with Josh Allen either, where it used to be, oh, it's Josh Allen time. He did have one this week, but it's not like that anymore. It's really
they're trying to protect their QBs,
which is smart, but I don't like it.
Lamar or Kyler tonight? Lamar tonight or Kyler on Sunday, actually. Who do you like?
I like Lamar.
You like Lamar over Kyler?
I do have Lamar over Kyler. I like Kyler a lot. I'm starting Kyler in like every league because I lost Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins, and I'm panicking.
So. Full point PPR, Tank Dell or Devin Singletary?
This week, Singletary. Again, assuming that Dameon Pierce is out.
Yes, Singletary, assuming that Dameon Pierce is out. Would you trade Singletary and Laporta for sure?
We had that one.
That one already. McBride or Laporta this week?
Still Laporta, but I'm going to have McBride ranked pretty high. McBride, get him in some DFS lineups. My DFS tight end article's coming out today, and it's an interesting slate for sure for tight end because, like, the prices are all over the place. So there's certain guys I like on Yahoo, certain guys I like on DraftKings. McBride on DraftKings, super, super solid price. And it's his best format too. So use different guys on Yahoo and FanDuel, but on DraftKings, we love McBride.
All right. We got a rapid fire here. We only got a couple of minutes left in the show. So let's get to it here. Coop, Burrow or Dak?
Dak. Dak's been amazing.
I was offered Thielen for Henry, have DK, Ayuk, Pickens, and Amari. I am not trading Derrick Henry for Adam Thielen.
No.
Mike Evans or Tank Dell?
Mike Evans.
FFPC Fantasy, start 3. Cooper, Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Gibson, Jacoby Myers, Jerick McKinnon, Curtis Samuel.
First 3.
Andrew's receiving yards has gone up to 57.5. Still grabbing the over?
Yes.
Pirine, Wilson, or Foreman, FFPC. That's Jeff Wilson.
I mean, Foreman plays, you start him. Otherwise, start Pirine.
There you go. Would you trade Sutton for Pickens?
No. Sutton's awesome.
Would you rather have Christian Watson or Pop Douglas?
Christian Watson. I love Pop Douglas, but you got to go for the upside.
Puka and Mixon for Justin Jefferson? Yes.
Yeah.
I would do that. Browns D or Lions D? Browns.
Browns D for the rest of the year.
Barkley and DK for Swift and Adams. Also giving them Dak since they lost both their QBs.
Giving up Dak. I mean, I'm doing that anyway because quarterbacks, you will figure it out. But yeah, do that deal. Swift and Adams. Yeah.
Beautiful. Who should I target in trades with my Seahawks? He's 8-2. Metcalf, Lockett, Walker. I also have Hurts, Mixon, and Laporta. What? I mean, you're looking to trade for a Seahawk?
No, I think he has all three, and he wants to get rid of some of them. Yeah, diversify a little bit. I think I would try and trade Walker. I'm a little worried that Charbonnet's here to stay.
Okay. Should I trade Adam Thielen for Shaheed and Achane? Yes.
What the heck?
100%.
I would trade Adam Thielen for Achane straight up.
Better to be part of the party later than never. Coop, Bender. Hope you gents are having a great day. Oh, what's up, Chef?
Chef showing up
Chef
late.
Joining late.
Yeah. What's up,
Trade
dude?
deadline is November 18th in my league. Is it time to move on from Barkley? It was time 2 weeks ago to move on from Barkley.
That team, if I was them, I would not start Tyrod Taylor. I would do my best to lose. Tommy DeVito can be the perfect tank commander.
Start 2, Ridley, Hopkins, Warren.
Damn.
I think I'd do the receivers here. I don't know. I don't necessarily want Jalen Warren going up against Cleveland.
I was doing so good with the rapid fire, Howard, and then I got smoked with the last question of the day.
That's okay. It's all right. Keep going. It's the second to last question.
All right.
About
I'll redeem myself with Birdie's question. Stroud. Stroud is just too hot right now. It's a perfect matchup, highest over-under of the week, and they're favored. So it's a big Stroud week here. And I'm a big Kyler fan, but it's Stroud.
Did you answer the Ridley, D-Hop, Warren question, or did you just bypass that one?
I thought you answered that one.
I said I'm not starting Warren, but I didn't
not
know
starting Warren against the Browns. Not starting Warren against the Browns.
I'm just giving you an opportunity to disagree with me, Coop.
No. You got it. You figured it out.
All right. Stroud over Kyler here, Birdie. And final question here. Here we go. Trade Taysom Hill and Jerry Jeudy for DK Metcalf? Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
100%. Oh, August has another one here. I'm good at running back. Would you trade Mixon and Puka for just? Yeah, we already answered that one.
Yep.
Yes, we said. Yes, we did.
Do it up. Let's go.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. As always, thank you so much for joining us here. If you didn't hit that like button or that subscribe button, please do it now for us. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, you've got Andrew Cooper and John Mpemba right here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. They're going to be doing a full lineup show tonight, right ahead of game time. And then again at 8 p.m. Eastern, jump into the Bettercast app and join me and the rest of the family. We're all in there chatting things up, having a great time. Hit that QR code right there and join us in the Bettercast app where you can win free stuff for just hanging out with us and smashing that fun button. Coop, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Big thanks to Brian Burns, our illustrious producer. I'm Howard Bender. This has been Alarm Fantasy Football. We'll catch you next time.